The Virgin Mary has sent a powerful and urgent message, calling all those living in Mexico and across the world to prepare for the deep darkness and monumental changes about to sweep through the earth. In these troubled times, her words resonate as both a warning and a beacon of hope. She emphasizes the importance of spiritual readiness as the key to surviving the trials and transformations that are coming. This divine message cannot be ignored, as it offers not just forewarning, but also a path to protection and spiritual strength. Her message begins with an urgent plea: spread the word to everyone. The Virgin Mary calls on us to share this message widely, so no one is caught off guard. She warns that a great tribulation is upon us, one that will bring unimaginable chaos and upheaval. The signs of these coming events are already visible, including increasing volcanic activity, natural disasters, and even the possibility of a worldwide blackout. These catastrophic occurrences will shape the world in ways we have never seen before, and we must be prepared, spiritually and physically, to face them. The core of the Virgin Mary's message is the urgent need for spiritual preparation. She emphasizes that time is running out, and only those who are spiritually armed will be able to endure the suffering and trials that lie ahead. The coming days will bring great turmoil, but through prayer, penance, and devotion, we can fortify ourselves and remain anchored in faith. The Virgin Mary urges believers to return to the fundamental practices of their faith: prayer, penance, and spiritual growth, and to do so without delay. A critical part of her message is the importance of having spiritual tools in our homes. These tools will not only serve as reminders of our faith, but will also act as protective symbols against the spiritual dangers that will arise. Among the most essential of these is the Rosary. The Virgin Mary describes the Rosary as a mighty weapon in the spiritual battle against evil forces. Each bead of the Rosary represents a step closer to God, and every prayer uttered is a shield against the darkness that threatens the soul. The Virgin Mary urges all believers to pray the Rosary faithfully and daily, as it is a channel of divine protection and grace. By meditating on the life, suffering, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the Rosary not only strengthens the soul but also provides inner peace during the coming trials. Those who commit to this powerful prayer will find themselves spiritually prepared to face the challenges ahead. In addition to the Rosary, the Virgin Mary emphasizes the indispensable importance of the Holy Eucharist. She teaches that the Eucharist is the spiritual nourishment needed to sustain the soul in these perilous times. It is not just a ritual, but a source of divine strength that transcends the material world and anchors the believer in the spiritual realm. As the body needs food to survive, the soul needs the Eucharist to thrive and remain steadfast in faith. For those who heed the call to prayer, penance, and spiritual readiness, the Virgin promises that divine protection will be granted. She assures us that the coming storms, both natural and spiritual, will be met with grace for those who are prepared. Though the trials will test the faith of many, those who remain united in prayer and unwavering in devotion will be shielded from the worst of the suffering. The time to prepare is now. The Virgin Mary's message is a call to action, urging each of us to strengthen our connection to God through prayer, reflection, and acts of charity. She calls for solidarity among believers so that together we may face the darkness, united in faith, love, and prayer. Faith and prayer are the only true sources of strength in these times of crisis. As we move forward into these uncertain times, let us take the Virgin's message to heart. The world is changing, and only through deep spiritual preparation can we hope to withstand the coming trials. By embracing prayer, especially the Rosary, and seeking the grace of the Eucharist, we will be fortified with the strength to not only survive but thrive in the midst of calamity. Thank you for joining in this journey of faith. Your presence in this mission is vital, and by sharing this message, you help ensure that more souls are spiritually prepared for the trials that lie ahead. May we all embrace the love and mercy of the Virgin Mary, finding in her message a beacon of light as we walk through the storm together. May God bless you abundantly on this path of faith and preparedness. In a world increasingly torn apart by conflict and division, the Virgin Mary calls on all believers to become peacemakers, to be lights of love in the midst of darkness. She urges Christians to seek a deeper connection with Christ through the Eucharist, for it is in this divine sacrament that they will find the spiritual strength to confront the challenges of an uncertain future. The Eucharist is not just a ritual, it is the nourishment of the soul, a direct encounter with the living Christ. It is through frequent and sincere reception of Holy Communion that that believers are fortified with the grace needed to become vessels of Christ's light in a world that desperately needs it. The Blessed Virgin emphasizes that focusing a significant part of our spiritual lives on the Eucharist is crucial. It will be our strength as we move through the difficult times ahead. In this divine encounter, we are empowered to stand firm, to be spiritual warriors, and to bring Christ's light into the world's darkest corners. The Eucharist, she teaches, is the source of the fortitude we need to bear witness to Christ amid the deepening turmoil around us. The Virgin Mary's message is clear. We must prepare, both physically and spiritually, for the days ahead. A period of profound change is fast approaching, one that will challenge the very fabric of our society. Among the many signs she reveals, she speaks specifically of the 3 days of darkness, a time of great confusion and uncertainty that will engulf the world. During this time, darkness will cover the earth, both literally and spiritually. In response, the Virgin Mary counsels her children to gather necessities, such as candles and non-perishable food items, and to learn basic survival skills. Yet, she stresses that physical preparedness alone will not suffice. The true preparation lies within, in our faith, our trust in God's divine plan, and our spiritual readiness. She urges believers to unite in prayer, to stand together in faith and support one another. The strength that will carry us through the most difficult trials will come from our unity in prayer and our unwavering belief in God's providence. In times of trial, this oneness will offer the strength and comfort needed to endure, and it will be a spiritual shield against the forces of evil. As we face these unprecedented challenges, the Virgin Mary reminds us that we are not alone. We are part of a larger community, united in Christ's love. In addition to prayer, the Virgin Mary advises us to seek the protection of Saint Michael the Archangel, the warrior of heaven who leads the fight against the forces of darkness. She encourages the faithful to invoke his name daily, asking him to battle the evil powers that threaten to destroy the world. In doing so, we can take heart knowing that divine protection is available to those who sincerely and confidently seek it. With Saint Michael on our side, we can approach the coming trials with courage, knowing that we are not fighting alone. His protection, combined with our faith and devotion, will fortify us in the spiritual battle. The Virgin Mary's message concludes with words of comfort and hope. She understands the anxiety that may arise from the warnings she has given, but she urges us not to let fear consume us. While the trials ahead may bring fear and uncertainty, she calls us to place our trust in God's love and protection. She promises that she will be with us every step of the way, offering her motherly care and intercession as we navigate these turbulent times. Now is the time, she says, for us to take action. We must hold fast to our faith, praying without ceasing, and shine our light in the world. This is not just a call for individual salvation, but a call to bring hope and redemption to a world in desperate need. By living lives of prayer, compassion, and devotion, we become instruments of God's mercy, helping others find their way back to Him. The Virgin Mary assures us that through prayer, almsgiving, and dedication, we will not only defend ourselves from the spiritual dangers ahead, but also offer a beacon of hope to those around us. In these times of uncertainty, our faith will be the light that guides others, and our unity in prayer will be the strength that sustains us. This is the message she gives us. We are called to be lights in the darkness, and through our faith, we will illuminate the world with the love of Christ. In these turbulent and uncertain times, the Virgin Mary delivers a profound and urgent message that calls us to unity and community. She emphasizes the importance of standing together, supporting one another, and sharing the weight of the trials ahead. Her message rings louder than ever in a world increasingly divided by violence, conflict, and social unrest. The faithful are called to come together, to form prayer groups, to gather in homes to recite the rosary, and to extend a hand of help to those in need. Community and solidarity are the bedrock of spiritual resilience, and the Virgin Mary calls on believers to create a network of support that will be vital in the dark days ahead. But the Virgin Mary's message is not only about preparing for the external challenges of the world. It is a call for personal conversion, an invitation to examine our hearts, reflect on our lives, and ask for God's forgiveness. In the face of adversity, we are presented with an opportunity for spiritual renewal, a chance to draw closer to God and to live in greater alignment with His divine will. This is not just a time of hardship, but also of spiritual growth and transformation. The Virgin Mary calls us to return to the very core principles of Christianity: prayer, penance, and adherence to God's commandments. At the heart of this message is the understanding that true transformation begins within. Every believer has a personal responsibility to cultivate their own spiritual life, to renew their relationship with God, and to live according to His teachings. By doing so, they can become a ray of hope, a beacon of light in a world that seems to be slipping further away from God. Through prayer and penance, believers will find the strength to endure the trials ahead, and through obedience to God's will, they will shine His light in the darkness. The Virgin Mary's message is both a warning and a source of hope. As the world stands on the edge of profound transformation, she urges Christians to fortify their spirits with prayer, penance, and a renewed devotion to their faith. In addition to gathering material supplies, she emphasizes that spiritual preparation is the most important defense against the impending trials. Faith is the key to overcoming the darkness. The Holy Eucharist and the protection of Saint Michael the Archangel will guide and shield the faithful as they face the challenges ahead. The Virgin Mary promises that her motherly protection will be with them every step of the way, guiding them through the darkness and into the light of a new dawn. The Virgin Mary reminds us that we are not alone. Even in our darkest moments, we are not without help. Saint Michael stands ready to defend us, and the Eucharist will sustain us with the spiritual strength we need. The Virgin Mary's message is a reminder of the power of faith and the necessity of trusting in God's plan. Fear and anxiety have no place in the hearts of those who place their trust in God's love. The Virgin Mary calls us to hope and to act. The time to prepare is now, and the way to face the future with courage and peace is to remain steadfast in faith. Her message is a call to action for all Christians. Do not let fear rule your hearts. Trust in God's love, for it is through Him that we will find the strength to overcome all that lies ahead. This is a call to faith, hope, and action. The time for preparation is now. Stand strong in the light of God's love, for He will lead you through whatever challenges may come. Through prayer, community, and a renewed devotion to God, we can help save the world and protect ourselves from the dangers ahead. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reflection and faith. Your participation is not just meaningful, it is part of a collective movement towards spiritual readiness, unity, and hope. May these words continue to inspire and strengthen you as we face the challenges of our time together. Until next time, let us find courage in our shared faith and hope in the light of Christ's love.